Hello, glad you can join us. Here's what we have for you this Wednesday. The key interest rate stays steady as Canadians cope with financial pressure.
The kids are getting older too, so they want more expensive things.
And who parents are relying on to help with holiday gifts.
The online bullying is insane, and kids are suffering.
Should Canada follow Australia's total social media ban for kids?
It's exciting that there be novel therapeutics.
Plus, a new treatment prescribes relief for struggling new mothers.
CTV National News with Sandy Ronaldo.
Well, it's a month to Christmas, and many Canadians are having a tough time making ends meet. Today, as expected, the Bank of Canada's trend-setting interest rate didn't move, remaining at 2.25%. Well, we wanted to know, given this and the state of the economy, what are the biggest financial pressures Canadians are facing? What do you worry about most? We have the results from a Nanos poll for CTV News, and our own Annie Bergeron-Oliver digs into the numbers for us. All right, Annie, what did you learn?
Sandy, 9 out of 10 Canadians are concerned about affordability heading into the new year. And in every age group surveyed, grocery prices ranked first. The malls may be busy, but this year many Canadians are focused less on presents and more on presents.
Me and all my friends make gifts for each other, and I feel like that makes it so much more lasting, and it's not like a cost worry thing in the holidays.
This holiday season, economic anxiety is high. According to a new Nanos report, 42% of people rank grocery prices as their top financial concern. 17% say their biggest concern is personal debt. 16% housing costs, 8% job security, and just 8% say they have no financial concerns.
You roll all that stuff up, and it's interesting, just paying for the groceries being the top concern that people think that they're going to have when it comes to 2026. So it's pretty basic.
The financial stress being tied to uncertainty around tariffs and the high cost of living.
If it was me, we'd be vegetarian, but I have good Canadian hockey players. They like their meat, milk, and cereal.
And for those wishing for prices to come down, the Bank of Canada says that would actually be bad news.
If we were to try to push the whole price level down, that would cause a severe recession in Canada. Nobody wants that.
So what can Canadians do to help their financial future? Experts say try tracking where money is coming in and going out.
Some lifestyles aren't sustainable anymore. The things have just gotten really expensive. So what you want to do with those big purchases, I think, is either avoid them or delay them or partition them. And maybe that's the best way to go.
Inflation is expected to hold steady, with the Bank of Canada projecting it will hover around 2% next year. Sandy.
Okay, Annie, thank you. Now, those rising prices also have grandparents stepping up to help their cash-strapped children buy holiday gifts for their kids. CTV's BC Bureau Chief Andrew Johnson takes on this affordability angle for us. Hey, Andrew.
Sandy, 3/4 of parents who answered a recent survey say creating a magical holiday is their top priority, but not everyone can afford it. Some of the holiday shoppers braving the rain in Vancouver today say they have tough decisions to make.
Everything is expensive now, and I just work part-time.
How's your budget looking? Threadbare?
They're not alone among the hundreds of Canadian parents recently surveyed by Interact. 2/3 say rising costs are making it harder to manage holiday spending, and more than half are worried about overspending.
You're going to stick to the budget.
I'm sticking to the budget.
As for that holiday budget, close to half of parents surveyed say they plan to spend less than $500 on gifts. A quarter are budgeting $500 to $1,000, and nearly 3 in 10 plan to spend $1,000 or more.
What kinds of gifts are you getting your 33-year-old?
Perhaps he's going to watch this thing.
That's right.
I'd rather not say.
Some parents are calling in reinforcements. More than 1 in 5 are relying on grandparents for holiday help. 1/3 say the grandparents are spending more than they are.
We are very fortunate. We have a lot of grandparent help. My son wants a trip, so my grandparents are contributing to money towards the trip.
Almost 2 in 5 parents admit digging themselves a financial hole every holiday season, with close to half saying it takes them until next spring to recover. Sandy.
Okay, Andrew, thank you. So the policy rate remains at 2.25%, where it should be, according to the Governor of the Bank of Canada, to keep inflation close to 2% and provide support for the economy. CTV's chief financial correspondent Amanda Lang is here now. And Amanda, take a look ahead for us. Where are rates expected to go next year?
Sandy, there was no move on rates. That was definitely expected. The bank did say again that it thinks it's in the sweet spot. It thinks it's in the right place to keep inflation in check, and inflation is where it wants it to be. It is also giving a nod to the fact that some of the economic data has been stronger than it expected, more resilient perhaps than anybody expected, and we got revisions for the past few years on Canadian growth and productivity upward. So things are even better than we thought. That all means the likelihood is the bank is not actually lowering rates again. And in fact, many economists are looking for the next move to be an increase sometime at the end of 2026 or beyond. There's a big caveat, though, and Tiff Macklem alluded to it today, and that is that we still have a trade war. We still have a negotiation of a trade deal. And that uncertainty means it remains a little bit non-committal about what happens next. Sandy?
All right, Amanda, thank you so much. Now, one other interest rate note. The U.S. Federal Reserve has cut that country's key rate for the third time this year. The 25 basis point reduction brings the interest rate range down to 3.5 to 3.75%. However, the Fed signaled it may leave rates largely unchanged in the coming months. U.S. President Donald Trump today said the drop didn't go far enough and should have been double. Now, as for the resignation of Kirsten Hillman, Canada's ambassador to Washington, the focus today is on who will replace her. Hillman leaves big shoes to fill during the most pivotal trade negotiations this country has seen in a generation. CTV senior political correspondent Mike Couture is here with us now. Okay, Mike, what is Ottawa saying about the ambassador?
Well, Sandy, today on the Hill, there was cross-partisan praise for the outgoing ambassador as speculation about her successor continues to swirl.
She's been a remarkable ambassador.
She handled herself very well in some very difficult circumstances, and wish her all the best.
Kirsten Hillman announced she will be stepping down in the new year, adding the move was first discussed when Prime Minister Mark Carney came into office.
And exceptional public servant, we're all in her debt, and I just want to thank her again for her contribution.
Hillman leaves as trade talks around sectoral tariffs like steel and aluminum remain stalled, and the official review of CUSMA is months away.
I think it's important that we have someone in place that is going to be here through the conclusion of those discussions.
Are you considering Mark Wiseman as a replacement?
Sources tell CTV News Mark Wiseman will likely be named the next Canadian ambassador to the U.S. He's held a number of senior roles at asset management firms and was chair of the Century Initiative,
whose stated mission is to triple the population of Canada to 100 million people, a policy that is designed to profit multinational corporations by driving wages down and housing costs up.
The policy that the member across refers to has never been and will never be the policy of the Government of Canada.
No matter who is chosen, a former policy advisor to Justin Trudeau on Canada-U.S. relations says the role requires someone who can engage with all stakeholders.
That's a major part of the role, not just from the business community, but from civil society, labor leaders, others, to make sure that their interests and concerns are represented in talks with the U.S.
With Hillman's departure in the new year, the Prime Minister says her successor will be named in the coming weeks. Sandy?
CTV's Mike Couture in Ottawa. Mike, as always, thank you. All right, a groundbreaking social media ban is now in effect in Australia for children under the age of 16. It is the first in the world. So gone, as of today, is access to TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, YouTube, and more. We want to know, is Canada next? CTV's Heather Wright looks at the ban and the pros and cons of this enormous social and cultural change. Heather.
Well, Sandy, there are many parents and advocates who would like to see a similar ban here in Canada. And while critics call it an infringement and say it might not work, proponents say it is an important first step.
The legislation is the first of its kind in the world. Children in Australia under the age of 16 can no longer legally have accounts on social media sites like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Snapchat. It's a law Amanda Ebinger wants to see passed here in Canada.
She was getting phone calls. She was getting harassed.
When Ebinger's daughter was 11, someone began posting rumors about her online. The attacks became so vicious, she started to self-harm. and even considered taking her own life.
We took her to the hospital. She stayed there for the weekend. And then after that, I realized, okay, we can't be here anymore.
The family moved out of town to escape the harassment. Australia's law aims to prevent that type of online bullying and also shield young people from apps that have been shown to cause increased rates of depression, anxiety, and loneliness. The ban puts the onus on the tech companies to enforce age restrictions and remove accounts of those under the age of 16, or face fines of up to 49.5 million Australian dollars. Critics say the law is an infringement and will be tough to enforce. There are also concerns about kids losing a communication tool or being pushed into the darker parts of the internet. Proponents, though, say it's an important first step.
Generally, whenever you have one of these large policy changes, it's going to help some people and harm some people. And so I think Australia is making the bet that overall on the longer term, that this will be more helpful than harmful.
Australian officials acknowledge the implementation of this law won't be perfect and kids will likely exploit loopholes. Many countries and provinces here in Canada are exploring their own type of legislation, watching closely now at how things unfold in Australia. Sandy.
CTV's Heather Wright. A story for you now that is a big move forward in the treatment of postpartum depression, a drug already approved for use in the United States, the United Kingdom, and the EU, will now be available for women in Canada. It's a first-of-its-kind medication to relieve mood swings or anxiety that can occur after giving birth. CTV's Quebec Bureau Chief Geneviève Beauchemin now on the significance of Health Canada's approval. Geneviève.
Yes, Andy, this is the first drug aimed specifically at treating women with postpartum depression. For some new moms, delivering little bundles of joy actually comes with a debilitating condition. Now, Health Canada has approved zuranolone, sold under the name Zurzuvae, for treatment of moderate to severe postpartum depression.
It's exciting that there be novel therapeutics offered to women postnatally.
Hormonal changes can induce a chemical imbalance, and 1 in 5 women experience symptoms including anxiety, inability to bond with the baby, feelings of worthlessness, and at times can be very severe. In some cases, lifestyle changes and other already available treatments can be effective.
Psychotherapy can have a very positive and quite rapid impact when it's well designed and when it's well targeted.
Doctors say in some cases, zuranolone could yield faster results. A study found that after a 15-day course of Zurzuvae, 27% of women reported no depressive symptoms.
The difference is night and day. Like, I could cry happy tears.
Zurzuvae has been available in the U.S. since 2023. It hasn't proven to be a miracle pill for all, and there are side effects including drowsiness, headaches. But for women like Stevie Robertson in Illinois, it has brought back some of the joys of motherhood.
The dread I would feel like when I woke up to a baby crying, I didn't feel that dread anymore.
But the price is high. It costs $16,000 U.S. for a 15-day course of treatment south of the border. We'll have to see what happens here. Geneviève Beauchemin, CTV News, Montreal.
All right, for the fourth time in less than 2 months, Alberta has invoked the Notwithstanding Clause, which allows governments to override sections of the Charter of Rights for up to 5 years. Now, this time, Danielle Smith's caucus used their majority to pass a bill that impacts transgender citizens. It means 3 controversial laws are shielded from legal challenge. Parental consent is required for a name change or use of pronouns in children under 16. Transgender girls are banned from participating in amateur female sports, and gender-affirming health care is restricted for those under 16. The opposition NDP calls the move offensive to the rule of law and to democracy. Air Transat strike averted at the 11th hour, with the union representing pilots signing on to a tentative deal.
It's a win-win agreement. We're very satisfied with it, and we're pretty confident that it's going to be voted by the pilots.
Members will vote on the undisclosed deal in the coming days, but today brings relief for travelers as the airline focuses on getting back on track after canceling more than a dozen flights. And as we head to break, well, we all love Italian food, right? It's now official, with UNESCO adding the preparation and consumption of Italian food to the world's cultural heritage list. Okay. The ruling passed today is being hailed as a victory in Rome and recognizes Italian food as an intangible aspect of Italy's heritage. Now we're talking pizza, pasta, risotto, much more than just food. Now protected slice of history and culture, a first for any national cuisine. A crucial point in U.S. negotiations to end Russia's war in Ukraine, and President Zelensky is saying he is ready to stand for election within 3 months if America and the allies can ensure the safety and security of the vote. Ukraine's president is pushing back against a claim by Donald Trump that he is trying to cling to power. CTV's Washington Bureau Chief Joy Malbon joins us now to talk a bit more about this. Okay, Joy, what else did President Zelensky say today?
Well, President Zelensky's officials have just handed over their latest draft of a peace plan to U.S. negotiators, and he is calling President Trump's accusation that he's clinging to power absurd and says that he's prepared to hold elections within 60 days, if balloting can be made safe. Now, this is after Donald Trump, without any new official U.S. intelligence, pretty much said that Russia was winning the war, and he is pressuring Zelensky to cave. Here's what the president told Politico.
Well, he's going to have to get on the ball and start accepting things. You know, when you're losing, because you're losing. It's not easy with Russia because Russia has the upper hand, and they always did. They're much bigger.
Okay, so Joy, that's the U.S. president's view. What are President Zelensky's European allies saying about this?
Well, after several meetings, French officials say that leaders from Britain, Germany, and Canada will hold a video call Thursday on ending this war. They're worried that Trump is losing patience, that his Thanksgiving deadline for a deal has slipped. And President Trump said he spoke to European leaders today and said that they had exchanged strong words. Washington is pushing very hard to get Ukraine to sacrifice territory, and Trump says that it is time to get this war settled. Sandy?
All right, CTV's Joy Malbon in Washington. Thank you, Joy, as always. And Donald Trump has confirmed that the U.S. has seized an oil tanker off the coast of Venezuela. It is the latest move in a pressure campaign against that country's Maduro government.
As you probably know, we've just seized a tanker on the coast of Venezuela, a large tanker, very large. Largest one ever seized, actually.
And Trump added that, and this is a quote from him, other things are happening, but he did not provide additional details, saying he'll speak more about it later. The United States has built up a large military presence in the region and carried out a series of deadly strikes against alleged drug smuggling boats. And an extraordinary scene on the I-95, which is a very busy Florida highway, as a small plane crash lands on top of a moving car.
Like, bro, I have chops, I swear.
Dash cam footage shows the plane going down, as you can see, and then watch this. Crashing into the car, skidding to a stop after then slamming into a medium. And remarkably, after all of this, if you look at the state of the car and the airplane, the driver, a 57-year-old woman, suffered only minor injuries, while the pilot and the passenger on that plane, look at it again, walked away. Still ahead, navigating the future of AI, how one city is incorporating the technology and seeing a real impact. AI is quickly becoming a part of everyday life for Canadians. Experts say in the next 6 months, we could see a major increase in cities turning to the technology. CTV's Alison Bamford toured a Saskatoon facility to see how AI is shaping the workforce. Alison.
Sandy, not only has AI saved time and money for the City of Saskatoon's Transit Department, it's also won them awards. Saskatoon Transit is busy working to get these buses back up and running. Most of it is scheduled maintenance, preventing bigger repairs down the road.
Instead of running a bus until which point in time a check engine light or a stop engine light would appear, we're now able to get ahead of that and apply repairs to these vehicles before we're at a point of failure.
The tool helping them get ahead of it is AI. For the last 2 years, it's been analyzing real-time data from bus sensors and catching maintenance issues early.
Here's a fault code.
The information is tracked constantly.
An operator driving a bus isn't going to realize if oil pressure is a little bit different, or if the temperatures are a little bit different, or if the RPMs are a little bit out of sync.
Transit is just one department at the City of Saskatoon using AI to make operations more efficient. Waste management, utilities, and administration have also incorporated it. Canada-wide, 23% of local governments currently use AI. Another 31% are actively evaluating how to incorporate it.
There is a bit of a fear that if they do venture into the AI world, that they are going to do something that will end up upsetting the citizens or putting them at risk.
ChatGPT or Microsoft Copilot are common starting points for municipalities, but many have advanced using it for predictive maintenance, chatbots, and understanding traffic flow.
We're seeing a lot of municipalities kind of in that learning or experimenting phase.
Experts say local governments shouldn't fear AI, instead make a plan to help manage the risks. Sandy?
Allison, thank you. And after the break, remembering a best-selling author. The death of a much-loved British author to share with you now. Writer Sophie Kinsella, whose influential series of warm and witty books in the Shopaholic series was read by millions. And 20 years ago, she appeared on CTV's Canada AM speaking to our own Beverly Thompson.
You know, so many people want to be able to write the way you write and make people laugh out loud. What's the secret to your success?
Oh my goodness. What can I say? I just write what I would like to read myself, and I write what I think is funny. I have no idea if anybody else will find it funny.
Kinsella, who also wrote under her real name Madeline Wickham, announced last year that she had been diagnosed with brain cancer. The former financial journalist published 10 Shopaholic novels, the first 25 years ago. Her books have sold more than 45 million copies worldwide and were adapted into the 2009 hit movie Confessions of a Shopaholic, starring Isla Fisher.
Declined. Can you try again? Really declined.
After her diagnosis, Kinsella wrote a novella, quote, "What Does It Feel Like?" about a woman with 5 children who has brain cancer. Kinsella's family posted that she died peacefully, filled with her true loves, family, music, warmth, and Christmas joy, and they can't imagine what life will be like without her radiance and love of life. Sophie Kinsella was 55 years old. Thank you for sharing your time with us this Wednesday. I'm Sandy Ronaldo. You can also live stream this newscast on Crave. See you tomorrow, we hope. Bye for now.